What do you know about prejudice? Have you ever felt it? Could you describe it?
It shows up everywhere, even in unexpected places. We're going to take a look at it today here on The Third Story. We'll also see people going out of their way to help people they may not even like.
And, surprisingly enough, we'll see a tribute to manhole covers. But first, two people with the same problem helping each other.
Prejudice has a nasty way of popping up in unusual places. We'll see more in a moment.
We are prejudiced when we prejudge someone before we have enough evidence about that person.
And people who are prejudiced usually don't want to change their minds. Kids in school are often hit hard with this problem.
Prejudice hurts people a lot. It makes people back away from making friends and doing what they'd like to do. How can you tell when someone's prejudiced?
When somebody doesn't like somebody and they call them down, they make them feel low, they make them feel like they're nothing. You're no good. If you're black, you're no good. If you're Chinese, Chinks are thieves. Indians are alcoholics. And they're always saying things like that, getting other people against them.
If you move into a different school and because you're new or you're different, or some people are in wheelchairs and things like that, and they think that there's something wrong with them because they're different than you.
By showing prejudice, people make themselves think they're better than someone else. But why do they do that?
I think because it makes them feel better. Maybe because there's something wrong with them. And by putting other people down, it makes them feel better.
For kids, I think that it's mostly because of the way that they were brought up. And other people, I guess, is just either jealous or they've got a chip on their shoulder.
Do children ever feel prejudice from their parents? They do when they're constantly compared to someone else or compared to the parents when they were younger.
They compare you. They say, why aren't you like your big brother? Why aren't you like your big sister?
But then kids can put down their parents too by talking down on them in front of their friends. What can you do if someone shows prejudice against you?
I tell them to keep their head up high, because what they think about themselves matters more than what other people think about them.
Where does God fit into all this?
He made people of a different color, of a different language, and things like that. He made all those different kinds of people because if everybody on earth was just one color, like everything would start going so dull.
He made everyone equally.
Prejudice does hurt people a lot. Let's remember that when we're tempted to make someone feel low.
The sad thing about prejudice is that often it's based on differences that are only skin deep.
The excuses we use for not liking others are often based on little things. If people eat different foods than we do, dress differently, talk in other languages, or just look different, we may put labels on them in our minds and avoid them or even treat them badly. It's called prejudice. Races differ from each other because of heredity. This means that our parents passed some of their characteristics on to us, and we have no choice in what we get. Our characteristics are determined by tiny particles called genes. Half of them come from our father and the other half from our mother. One of the first differences that we notice in others is their skin color. The color of skin is affected by genes and exposure to sunlight. The color can vary greatly between individuals. Skin color is determined mainly by the amount of brown pigment called melanin produced in the skin. In dark-skinned people, the skin produces more of this pigment than in light-skinned people. The amount is determined by heredity, but exposure to sunlight increases the production of melanin and results in what we call tanning. This explains why some people tan more easily than others. Sometimes this pigment builds up in spots on the skin, resulting in freckles. As people age, melanin is produced at uneven rates in the skin. This causes dark spots that people may become embarrassed or unhappy with. Other characteristics that are inherited and that may arouse feelings of prejudice are things like thick lips, short legs in proportion to body weight, inner eye folds, the shape of the nose, or even handicaps. When people nurse within themselves the dislikes they have for other people, little things can jar them into doing something cruel. If they see someone with a certain skin color do something they dislike, they may burst out in anger. This can take the form of swearing at them, making cruel jokes, or even hurting them physically. A little thing sets them off, and they make judgments based on nothing but what they see on the surface. Often, no one can talk them out of how they feel. We should remember that many of the characteristics that cause feelings of prejudice can't be helped. They're God-given to people as special gifts that make them unique. We should be very careful before we judge people. We should do all we can to get along with them and learn to benefit from each other's differences.
Sometimes we live quietly with our feelings about people we don't like. After all, we say, you don't have to appreciate everything about everybody. But what do you do when they keep on bothering you about something?
There once was a man who was content with what he had, a house, clothing, and enough food to feed his family. He loved peace, and each evening he went through a bedtime routine. First, he locked the doors front and back. Next, he scattered the embers in the fireplace. Finally, when he saw that everything else was done, he climbed the stairs and checked to see that all the family was tucked in beneath the blankets. At last, he himself crawled in between the sheets with a long sigh. Ah, the day was done. Sweet dreams. Yes, sweet dreams. Until... Drat that phone! Who could be calling at this hour of the night? Reluctantly, he swung his legs over the edge of the bed. The floor was cold. Hello? Yeah? Yeah? I did buy some today. Not really. We need it for breakfast tomorrow. And besides, I've been in bed for a few hours already. Why don't you try Cox's 612 store first? I'm sure they'd be good for a few loaves, and it'd be fresh. Bye. He went to the window to stretch. On his way back to bed, he tripped over the cat. A couple of loaves of bread. 2 lousy loaves of bread. He couldn't fall asleep easily. Maybe he should have been a better neighbor. He had just drifted off when he was jolted awake by an unearthly racket. Someone was pounding on the front door downstairs. Wearily, he got out of bed again, stumbled to the window, and stuck his head out into the moonlight. "Who is it?" he said with his best morning breath. It wasn't necessary for him to ask. He knew already that it was his neighbor again, asking for bread. His persistent neighbor. He wasn't in any position to argue. So he thumped down the stairs in his bare feet, pulled 2 loaves out of the icebox, and brought them to the door. "Thanks. I knew I could count on you," the neighbor said. "Unexpected overnight company. You know how it is. The store was out." And he moved off into the midnight shadows. The man made his way back up the stairs in the dark. "He who persistently asks, receives," he muttered to himself, just before he tripped over the cat again.
I can see that it's not easy to be kind.
Even for the cat. We'll be back. One day, our producers set out to find a genuine example of someone who experiences prejudice.
Someone who has to live with cutting remarks, is looked down upon, stepped on, avoided, and just takes it all.
They left nothing unturned in their search and found exactly what they were looking for.
City life, where everything hums along normally. Traffic flows smoothly. People cross the streets at crosswalks, and city councilors hold their meetings. Now there's a reason why everything goes so well, and nobody ever thinks about it. It's because of the manhole covers. Yes, those cold, ugly steel covers over yucky sewers that quietly and faithfully do their job. They don't mind being stepped on, squealed on, and rubbed on. They humbly lie there inside of their steel rims day after day, doing what they were made to do. Everyone takes them for granted. Can you think of anything more thankless and lonely? Now imagine what it would be like if this faithful legion of lids decided to go off the job. You don't have to worry. It won't happen. No matter what people think of them, these humble guardians of the sewers work faithfully. Truly exemplary, day after day. Let's hear it for the manhole covers.
Maybe I'll look at manhole covers with a little more respect from now on.
I wonder if there are people that I should be treating with more respect. Sometimes the last people to get proper recognition can be right in our own families.
I thought you'd never get home. Hurry, your grandma's coming. So grab something and start cleaning.
Grandma? You never tell us anything. When did this come up?
She's getting an unexpected ride with some friends of hers. I haven't done any vacuuming yet.
Can't we have something to eat first? I'm starved.
No, she could be here any minute, and you know what she's like.
Yeah, I know what she's like. She'd spot dust if she was passing over our house in a satellite. Mom, you should have warned me. I've already made plans.
Cancel them. Your grandma doesn't come that often. I need you here all evening. Your dad and I have an important meeting at the office tonight, so I need you to stay here with Grandma. Here, we can work while we talk. Grandma hasn't been feeling that well either, so keep her off her feet.
And serve her tea, I suppose.
Yeah, along with her favorite cookies that I baked. Serve them with grapes. Entertain her the way your dad and I would.
How long is she staying? She's gonna upset our entire life.
Only a week.
Actually, Grandma's a lot of fun to have around. I love her.
What I don't like is having to stay in tonight.
You'll just have to. That isn't too much to ask for Grandma when you think about it.
Even staying at home isn't as bad as what Grandma does to you, Mom. When Grandma's around, everything has to stay as neat as a pin. Otherwise, you go into hysterics.
Yeah, but Grandma does bring us the neatest gifts.
Laura, I hope you love her for more than what she brings you.
Guess we don't have much choice. Sure, we'll make Grandma happy. I'll even take the phone off the hook.
Well, wonders never cease.
That's her.
I'll get it.
The best place to go for help in dealing with prejudice is to God. His own son, Jesus, experienced severe attacks by people who hated him when he lived here on earth. Yet he kept on loving them.
Jesus once told a story about prejudice. It's in the New Testament in the Bible.
One day, a young lawyer came to Jesus and asked him, "Who is my neighbor?" Jesus answered him by telling a story. A Jew going on a trip from Jerusalem to Jericho was attacked by bandits. They stripped him of his clothes and money and beat him up and left him lying half dead beside the road. By chance, a Jewish priest came along. And when he saw the man lying there, he crossed to the other side of the road and passed him by. A Jewish temple assistant also came along. He walked over, looked at him lying there, but then went on. Then a Samaritan came along. Now Samaritans were looked down upon and despised by the Jews. But this man, when he saw the unfortunate victim, felt deep pity for him. Kneeling down beside him, he soothed his wounds with medicine and bandaged them. Then he put the man on his donkey and walked along beside him till they came to an inn where he nursed him through the night. The next day, he handed the innkeeper money, the equivalent of 2 days' wages, and told him to take care of the man. "If his bill runs higher than that," he said, "I'll pay the difference next time I'm here." Now, which of these three would you say was a neighbor to the bandit's victim? Jesus asked the lawyer. He replied, "The Samaritan, the one who showed him some pity." Then Jesus said, "Yes. Now go and do the same."
Seeing the need before the difference. That's one way to overcome prejudice.
We'll be back. God wants to guide our thoughts and our actions. He sent His Son, Jesus, to show us how to love even those who are different from us.
To help you get to know God better, we've prepared this third story survival kit. It tells you how you can invite God into your life. There's a book of the Bible, a poster, some activities, and other things you might find helpful.
For your free kit, write to The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's The Third Story, Box 2, Station F, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks for watching today. Tell your friends to watch The Third Story too. See you again.
If you ask me how I used to be, I will tell you about a different me. Brother, I was selfish, always number one. Had to have it my way, had to have my fun. Stay up late and watch TV or read. During school I get the sleep I need. Never do my homework, just go out and play. Finally I got tired, having my own way. I decided, then I tried a new life. I was bored, but with the Lord there's new life. Won't you join us and enjoy this new life with Jesus Christ? Let me tell you how my life has changed, how my good times have been rearranged. Now I'm seeing God's creation, walking in His way, giving and receiving joy that's here to stay. I decided, then I tried a new life. I was bored, but with the Lord there's new life. Won't you join us and enjoy this new life with Jesus Christ?